Danny's not here, yada, yada, yada. You know, kind of go from there. So, all right. Okay, I'm on the page. I'm going to start recording, and we're going to go live. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Up North Journal. Mike Adams sitting here in the cabin. Yeah, I'm by myself. Danny left me. So I'm going to do a little bit of sharing here real quick, and we will get going with tonight's show. Hopefully everybody's having a good weekend. It's a hot one out there for sure. So give me just one moment here, and we'll see if we can't find Danny. I think he might be lurking around somewhere, so we'll have to see if we can find him. But I have got to get onto the page here, and we will share a couple things. If you don't mind, share the show tonight, and tell your friends about it. Get your drinks, get your popcorn, kick back. If you got anything you'd like to talk about tonight, make sure that you get it to me, and we will try our best to share it, or to talk about it as I'm sharing the shows here, trying to talk and think at the same time. Yes, I know for those of you watching, that's pretty hard for me. A couple more here, and I will be ready. And we will see if we can find out if Danny is going to join us. I have a sneaking suspicion he's waiting. All right. One more here. All right. So, hey Krishner, hey Benjamin, Tim Cius, all online tonight. Danny's watching from somewhere. Jim Miller and Kelly DeFauw, all watching. All right, good deal. Well, I'll tell you what, let me get this thing up here online, and I will do the best to try to monitor this tonight, and we will see what we can do here. So, but I have just got a Skype call that came in, and lo and behold, I think I have found Mr. DeFauw. Dan DeFauw, what is going on, my man?
What's happening, everybody?
Wow.
I am.
Look at you. Look at you.
Me.
Why are you not here?
Well, I'm in the western UP, dodging thunderstorms.
Dodging thunderstorms.
Actually, we had a tornado warning just south of us. So.
Okay. Well, are you ready to get this show started tonight?
I am.
All right. Well,
I am. Absolutely.
I'll kick it off here. Stand by in 3, 2, and 1. Welcome back to another episode of the Up North Journal, everybody. I'm host Mike Adams, sitting in the cabin all by myself.
Yes, you are.
No Dan DeFauw, but you can hear him if you're on the podcast, but if you're on the live stream, you can't see him, and that's because he skated across the bridge. He went.
I got above the bridge.
You got above the bridge. He is above the Mackinac Bridge. He's in Michigan's great Upper Peninsula, hanging out up there with the family this weekend. So, Danny, what's going on in the great UP, man?
I tell you what, it was hot down where you're at, but I tell you what, it was hot up here. We got up here Friday afternoon. It was in the 90s. Yesterday it was right back in the 90s, and we needed to do some work in the cabin, cut the grass, get all that stuff done, and it was hot, and but we got it all done. The cabin is if anybody's tuned in and listened to last week, last November, we came up to frozen pipes, and we had to change out pretty much all the pipes. And lo and behold, when I fired up the water this year, probably one of the very few pipes that I didn't replace had a crack in it.
What's up with that? Why didn't you change them all?
Because it wasn't broke. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Right?
Okay.
So, but Deb and I, Kelly and Gabby are with me this week. But we got up here Friday, Yesterday we just kind of laid low because it was hot up here. It was mid-90s up here as well. It was hot, and being in the bush, I tell you what, yeah, it's pretty hot. Luckily, we have air conditioning in the cabin.
Well,
so that was it.
One thing I saw, I got a picture of it up right now. It wasn't too hot for you to be running the chainsaw with a little bit of Hunter's Blend coffee.
I tell you what, that was part of the getting things started yesterday morning, matter of fact. Tried to get out there before the heat kicked in. Needed to do some trimming on the trail with the winter and stuff like that. Tree came down, and it didn't totally block the road, so I was able to get in. But I had to go back and take care of it and cut it up. And, well, while you're cutting one thing, you just can't cut one thing with the chainsaw. You got to cut a few other things. So, but I started my day with Hunter's Blend coffee, and had to have that before I could get the old chainsaw fired up and going.
Well, I got mine right here. Yeah, yes, it's, 90 degrees here in Michigan, but, yeah, I brewed a pot for tonight's show, and, thinking of you, Danny, so.
All right.
So
let me see if I got the temperature right now up here. It's telling me that it's 75 degrees.
75 degrees. That ain't bad.
It isn't now. After the thunderstorms moved in yesterday afternoon, we had them pretty much all evening. The power only went out once.
Okay.
Now I got sunshine, as you can see.
Yeah, it's blinding like half your face there.
I know, really. But we got more thunderstorms and things moving through, so we might hear some thunder and some lightning during our show.
Well, I know we're supposed to get some down this way, too. There's talk of some coming through later tonight. Actually, I was just watching the end of the NASCAR race, and they were trying to get the race finished in Chicago before the rain hit over there. So there's a big, long line of thunderstorms blowing through. So.
Oh, okay. So,
yeah.
Okay, they were down in Chicago. Okay.
Yep. So the rain's down that way, and it looked like a big, long line up towards you that's probably going to come through, and you're going to get a little more, it looks like. So. But.
Yeah. You know what, though? But from what I understand, it's a little cool today. I think it was in the 80s today, but it's going to go right back up to the 90s for the rest of the week, from what we're hearing.
Well, it was I don't know, 92, 93 here ish. So I had to make a run to town real quick, and it was pretty doggone hot. Other than that, I've stayed inside. Matter of fact, I got to see who was it here. I think it was Jason Radecki made a comment. He said, "Man," he said, "you guys." Wearing black shirts, it's 90 plus degrees out. You guys ain't right. Matter of fact,
right?
You got a black shirt on. So
I tell you what, we did a little traveling in the bush yesterday. I went and checked the food plots, the fields. Yeah, it was pretty warm out there.
Yeah.
It was the humidity of anything. It wasn't a dry heat. I'll tell you that much.
Well, what does the Michigan State bird look like up there? You guys getting a lot of mosquitoes? I know you said you had some rain, you had some heat, but last time I talked to you, you said it was dry a couple days, so they hadn't popped yet.
You know what? We have not seen many at all. It's been really nice. The mosquitoes have not been plentiful as usual, which is nice. Surprisingly, the most annoying things are the deer flies and not even really the black flies, but they're there. The gnats are a little bit out, but it's all tolerable. I've been up here a lot worse, especially this time of the year.
Absolutely. So, okay, so you take the family up, you head up 4th of July week. You're going to be gone for a little while. You haven't been up there since deer season, am I right, or no?
I have not been up here since deer season. So typically I try to get up here around Memorial. And if you can hear the wind in the background, it's going to pick up here. But usually I try to get up around Memorial, open up the cabin, make sure everything's all set, cut the grass. Well, I wasn't able to do that this year, so I came up kind of cold turkey. The grass hadn't been cut. The water hadn't been energized. So, yeah, it was kind of what am I going to run into when I walk in the place? Well,
if I remember right, last week before last, I can't remember exactly when it was, and we talked about it, I believe, on last week's show. The UP just got smoked by a bunch of water, a bunch of rain. Totally devastated a couple of areas up there, which really wasn't that far from you. And and I talked to you about it, and I said, well, what are you expecting when you go up? What are the creeks going to look like? And tell us a little bit about what happened when you got there, because actually I got a few pictures here of it.
I tell you what, a shock. I was expecting the creek that we go over to get into camp to be high. Mm-hmm. It was actually low. So they haven't had a water like they got north of us. Northwest, I do believe, is the true direction that all that roads and the water was really running and the flooding. But down here, the creek was pretty low until yesterday. Then after raining pretty much all night,
mm-hmm.
kind of went up today.
I mean, when you say up, a lot, dangerously?
No,
or not?
It probably went up 6 to 12 inches from the rain we had the last 12 hours of all. Basically, it rained all night.
Okay, I gotcha. So
nothing dangerous, nothing to the point where I was getting nervous. I was nervous hearing about the flooding to the north of us, but you know what? There's 7 layers to that bridge, so it's probably going to take a lot to take it out, but you never know what the winter did to it.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it's all good. I'm pleasantly surprised. Deb caught a brook trout this morning.
Nice.
Right under the bridge. So she's 1 for 1. That's her. She got one last year. She got one this year. So the resident brook trout has been caught and released.
A little catch and release program going on there.
Yeah, we have a little catch and release program. There was also a couple smaller ones she wasn't able to get to. The one she got was probably about maybe 6 inches.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, lives under the bridge, and we've caught him now 2 years in a row. He's messed with us probably 3 years in a row now.
Okay, right on. Well, I just got done showing a couple of those pictures there. It didn't look like it, the water was too terrible. You can see rocks and stuff down in the river there. It's not real wide or anything like that, but so the bridge was all intact. You didn't have to worry about anything cutting loose on you there. But what about Michigami Reservoir? I mean, does that take in a lot of the rain from the area?
Yeah, what that does is they like to build that up. It'll be high now. In September, October, they'll drop it, preparing for next winter. But we were over there this morning. This afternoon we were over there, actually. We are able to get the kayaks in the water. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't really high, but it wasn't really low either. So it looked all right. The water was dark, clear. I saw a bald eagle, a juvenile, but a little windy today. So it's kind of hard to get the kayak to stand still where you want it to without becoming a sailboat and going across too fast where I wanted to go across.
Gotcha. Now, I got to imagine that probably most of that water that hit up that way was probably heading out to Lake Superior, I got to imagine.
Yeah, most likely probably all that water that went that way north of us probably headed off to Superior. So I'm sure the Great Lakes, I'm surprised. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if Superior was a little fuller now.
Well, actually, I saw a report today. Somebody was up on, I think it was Superior. Pretty sure it was Lake Superior. I don't know exactly where at, but they said that they had what's called a psych. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's basically like a freshwater tsunami, where you get a weather condition where barometric pressure increases and pushes down on the water, and when it does that, it forces it back into the backwaters and floods. So they were in a campground, and they said water came up like 4 or 5 feet.
Really?
Yeah, into the campground. Yeah, I mean, it didn't get that high in the campground, but I mean, the whole water level rose from what it was. The guy said he estimated 4 or 5 feet. Yeah, cars were in water, campers were in water, so pretty crazy.
That's pretty cool.
So yeah, as long as it's not you.
Right. You really don't hear that too often.
Right. So,
but yeah. So as far as the water table looks about average overall. With the weather they have gotten, everything is a lush green. Things are growing.
Good.
The grass was about foot tall, but it's nice to have 2 capable women that can push a lawnmower while I'm setting up the water. Gabby and Kelly were out mowing the lawn.
I won't say nothing. I'll be nice. All right. Hey, I tell you what, we're bumping up here close to the first break. Why don't we take our first break, come back? I know we want to talk a little bit about the logging project you did, because you got some pictures of that, the deer up there, the regrowth, food plots, and what's growing now. So we're going to step outside. We're going to take our first break. When we come back, we will continue the conversation. For those of you on the live stream, hang on. Danny will entertain you with song and dance.
From the UP.
From
and
the
in
UP.
fact, I'm watching the live stream, so I can actually get some.
Okay, cool. Yeah, your brother said the bridge is still there. That's good. that is a good thing.
Right.
Let me save
My
this off.
My brother-in-law's on as well.
Okay, that's you commenting. I'm just trying to figure out who's commenting there.
Yeah, that's me.
Ron Moses is on. I saw Travis Minton was on. Mike Forder says hello. Andy Everhard. Yeah, we got quite a few people on tonight, so that's good. Hey, if you guys got anything, you want any information from the UP where Danny's at right now, drop us a quick little message there in the comment section, and we'll try to squeeze it in here. So let me save this off real quick.
Oh, I get it. All right. Mike. Oh, you guys are pretty good.
Yeah, we got a good connection tonight. Everything looks good.
That's what happens when you're at the railroad tracks.
You're at the local phone booth.
I'm at the UNJ Skype phone booth.
All right, here we go. Stand by. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back. Second segment of the show, and Danny, as he said here on the live stream, he is in the local Up North Journal Upper Peninsula phone booth. They're right by camp.
I'm on a
railroad grade.
I'm by a railroad track, which you might hear a train go by once in a great while during the day, but nothing during the evening that I remember. And I'm kind of up on a hill. I'm backed in a little bit, so people going by are probably going to be looking at me pretty funny. But one of the cool things that I am using the fourth arrow camera arm for the little with the C-clamp on it.
Oh, the phone holder.
Yes.
Yeah, I was trying to say the shot looks really steady. I mean, it looks really good. So,
you know what? I got it attached to the steering wheel. It's like I brought it with me. I was like, this is gonna be great.
Yeah, that works good. So, very nice.
Yeah. What else can you do with it, right?
Right. Hey, Andy Everhard wants to know what the humidity is like up there, especially after all that rain.
Okay, so Friday and Saturday, you could cut it with a butter knife. It was thick. Thunderstorms moved in yesterday afternoon into the evening. Soon as they came through, humidity dropped to a nice, comfortable morning this morning. Actually, we were sitting outside having some coffee. Humidity was great. Pretty much all day it's been like that. We're starting to get the humidity's going back up, and we got another round of thunderstorms coming through right now. Okay. A couple hours ago they came through, got some more coming through, and then I guess it's supposed to go back up into the 90s. Don't know what the humidity is, though. We'll have to look after the show and get a weather report. Because I want to know which way the wind's... actually, we want to look at how much wind we're supposed to have, because that'll tell us if we're going to go out in the kayaks and where we're going to go and what we're going to deal with.
Okay. All right. So you get up there, you've braved off the rain, but getting into camp, the first thing I got to imagine, you check the bridge, you didn't get washed out, but you said you've had to mow some grass. That tells me that you guys are way past your green up time right now already. I mean, of course, we're at the 1st of July, but you planted some, or actually, let's step back a little bit. You did some logging last year. You got that cut. You hunted this year, and right before hunting season, you put in some food plots, some small food plots.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so how's all that going? How's your regrowth? How's your food plots? What do you want to talk about first?
Okay, so last Labor Day, last September, I came up. There was 4 clearings, kind of, that I was able to try to plant. So I was able to get a drag in there, and with the 4-wheeler, I was able to. I tested the soil last July. I put all the lime down and everything that was asked to do on each field. So I planted it last September.
Okay.
By October, November, I did have a little bit of green up of clover, but that was it.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, okay. I wasn't expecting anything at all. So I was like, okay, I'll go with a little bit is better than none. So fast forward to coming up here yesterday, I headed out and started. I said, I gotta go check these fields. So I pulled up to one field and I can see the rye standing tall, 3 feet tall, 2.5, 3 feet.
Okay, the two pictures that I've showed right here so far is it looks like it's over top of your cut, and there's one like dead tree standing up with no limbs on it right in the middle.
Okay, so
that's the two pictures I got.
Right, that's one field that was basically just a little bit of green last year, and in November of last year it was just dirt with a little bit of clover in it.
Okay.
And well, this year it's full of rye.
Okay.
With clover.
So what we're looking at then is rye.
Yeah, you're looking at rye and clover.
Okay.
Actually, if you walk in there and you look down, kind of like you mentioned what you did at your camp.
Right.
You use the rye and the clover hides in it.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. I mean, it's you walk in it and you look down and they can walk right through it. Is the picture you're looking at now where you see the little bit of brown in it?
Yeah.
What I'm surmising is there were some bare spots, and I think those were low spots in the field where there was a lot of water that sat maybe.
Okay.
In the spring, and didn't come up as good.
Is that sandy soil?
What do you think? It's Michigan.
Well, that's what I'm guessing. I mean, it looks like sand, but it's hard to tell in the picture. Okay.
It's sand, and that's the first field I planted. The one that's got the dead tree in it, and the one that's got the little bit of brown in it is another field I planted. But all 3 fields that I planted have rye, and it's awesome. I'm totally shocked that it's there. And I tried to get a picture for you. I was out last night after I talked to you, and we went over to that field, and there was a deer grazing right in it. So
okay,
as soon as we stopped the car, of course, by the time we got the phone up to take a picture, it took off.
Okay.
So, but I am excited to say the least that I got something to grow.
Well,
there's another field.
Oh, go ahead.
There's another field that's back in the woods a little bit where Kelly got her 6-point last year.
Yeah, is that the pictures you sent to me? The other field that's really green?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
And that's got rye in it as well. And only thing I did in that field, I didn't even drag it. I just fertilized it and planted it and just let it go.
Okay.
And I was in there yesterday, and the rye and clover were growing, coming up between the grass. So I'm kind of shocked.
Okay, so you didn't kill the grass out. You just spread seed down in what was already growing there.
Last year, yeah, because I got up into that field, and it was the first 2 fields that you have pictures of.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell they're really flat.
Yep.
The third field was just it was terribly rutted.
Okay.
Which is like, okay, I really couldn't do much there except barely walk it.
Okay.
So I just threw the fertilizer down, threw the rye, threw the clover, and just let it go. It says, we'll see what happens. That's the field Kelly got her 6-point in. And this year, it's got rye and clover in it. So another reason we were out yesterday is I put cameras out. Oh, there you go. That's the picture you're showing now.
Well, we're about 30 seconds. We're about 30 seconds behind. I think I said.
Yep.
Okay. The big thick stuff. That's the one where you let the grass grow and you just brush it.
That is so rough in there that I just let it go. And shockingly, it grew.
You know, what I would probably suggest here, let me flip back to that picture so we get our audio matches, because there is a delay in what you're seeing and what we're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Nope. I'm just
that piece there that I just put up that's got the grass in it. I would probably suggest spraying that field or tilling it and knocking it down and disking it, getting that grass out of there, or even doing a controlled burn. Get that grass out of there. and then replant that with some rye or whatever else you're going to plant in there, because that grass it's really going to compete and take over and not allow whatever you're wanting to plant. It's not going to allow it to really flourish like it should.
So what my plan is for the rest of this week is I'm probably going to try to get some more soil samples.
Okay.
Like I did last year. I'm going to send them back out, see what the soil's done after I put it down last September. I'll see what the soil's at now, and see probably Labor Day weekend bring some more up, and then maybe get in there and do exactly what you're saying.
Okay. So that's your Labor Day trip that you're talking about.
Yeah, I'd like to get up here. There's a couple things I'd like to do up here. I'd like to put up a platform and a couple other things, and throw some more. I don't know exactly what I want to do with that field now that I see I have rye growing and clover. The deer there's tracks in it, so it's like, what do I do?
On that first one we were talking about, where you got, well, I tell you what, let me just throw it up here. Hang on one second. I'm gonna go back to the shot so we know everybody knows what we're talking about here.
Right, exactly. And
this field,
as far as
this field right here, it'll come up in just a minute when you'll be able to see it, Danny. But it's the one that's got the dead tree sticking up in the middle of it. That field, that's the one you're talking about. You're not sure what you want to do because it looks like you've got a good stand in there.
Okay, so that's right on the edge of an area that is right on the edge of a woods that I think is going to be a really good spot. We'll talk about the deer later in the show, which I'm pretty ecstatic about. We talked about, we had that weather snow dumpage.
Right.
We had, and I was kind of like freaking out as to what's happened up here, but what I'm seeing is changing my mind quickly, which is good.
Well, that field, if you don't want to replant that, what I would suggest maybe is give it just one mowing, and don't cut it super short. Do you have a mower?
Oh yeah, we got mowers.
Okay, that's what
absolutely.
That's what I would suggest. That way you get some of that fresh green up coming back up, and turn it loose again. So.
What I was thinking about doing is kind of what you had mentioned about oats. So
okay.
I don't know. I might add oats to it. I might cut it like you said, but just add oats to it.
Okay.
And see what I can get to grow for next year, because being 8 hours away from home, it's not something I can run up to and do on a weekend. So I'm picking my poison and seeing what happens. So I'm ecstatic. Believe me, you have no idea how ecstatic I am to see rye and clover growing.
Yeah, when you got some green in there, it's always good.
I mean, last year, come Labor Day, it was bare fields, and I was like, okay. And then October, November, they were still kind of bare with just a little bit of green, and I was like, oh, yeah, okay, this went all for naught.
Right.
I come up now, and it's like, well, it worked.
Right.
I was ecstatic. I was practically jumping up and down. And as you can see by those pictures, you're looking at the fields, but as you can see, the couple of pictures around it, the regrowth is coming back nicely, I think.
Let me check it out here. Well, I've got one picture. Somewhere along the way, I lost the pictures. I don't know what happened to them. Maybe here in the break I can try to grab those real quick and download them. So, but I tell you what,
fine.
Let's go ahead. Let's take our next break here. We're bumping up on our second break, and we come back. We'll talk a little bit about the logging and how that's taken back off for you. Okay.
Sure.
All right, we're gonna step outside, and we'll be right back after this. For those of you on the live stream, hang on just a minute. Let me save this off.
What side's the rain coming in?
This side.
You want it up or down?
You got rain coming in?
Put it on.
Yeah, we're trying to fight off the rain here. We're taking on water.
The ship's going down.
I see my brother wants to know got some questions, so we'll answer those in the next show, in the next break,
Okay. Okay, give me 1 second here. If you give me just a minute, I will try to pull those pictures up real quick.
We'll put it on the air.
He's in air conditioning at that. Jeez, oh Pete, I swear.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, man.
Living in luxury up there. All right.
Yeah. By a railroad tracks,
yeah.
Right?
All right. Let me see if I can get this called up. If something happens to our live feed, folks, we will be right back. I'm going to try to call up a couple pictures here that he sent me. And this will also get you a chance to get a couple questions in as we get ready here. Yeah, I had two photos that something happened to them.
Oh, okay.
And those are the ones that you sent me that was logging, I do believe.
Oh, okay. Ooh, and here comes the rain.
Oh, there was I can hear it. At least that's what it sounds like it is.
It's rain.
Yep, that's the rain.
Ask for it, you shall receive.
Right.
Might get a couple lightning bolts. This ought to be good.
You're right.
But the connection's still good.
Knock on wood. Knock on wood.
Thanks to Gabby for letting me use her phone.
Yeah, you keep your fingers crossed. All right, we're working right on the fly here, folks. So just give me just a second. We're trying. Actually, I found your fishing pictures as well, so we'll see what happens with that. We're getting close here. I'm just going to grab a couple of them. And that way we can get moving along with the show.
Watch how many people stop for the...
You got people watching you there?
Oh, yeah, now they're stopping.
How much traffic you get on that road there?
Not much at all. Not much at all.
They're probably wanting you to hang up the phone and get out of the phone booth, right?
Maybe.
Okay. All right, I got one other picture here. Let's go with this.
Just had a person stop and look at me like I'm needing help.
All right, here we go. Stand by in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back. Third segment of the show. It's raining in the UP now.
It's coming down like buckets.
As you might be able to hear it on the connection here. So, have to turn your wipers on, get the bucket, start bailing water, right?
You're not kidding.
Is it really that bad?
Right on cue, it just started pouring. As soon as you said buckets,
nice.
Yeah, it's coming down.
Nice. That's good. Okay. Actually, I got them back now. Okay. So before we went to break, we were talking about the logging cut that you guys did up there. It allowed you to open up some pieces of land and also allowed you to make some food plots in the area.
Yep.
So, I want to give it. Wait, it's raining up there. It's humid. But Mr. Hoffman just chimed in and says he's watching from Hawaii. Billy, yeah, you wait till you get back. We'll make you think Hawaii.
Right, exactly.
I'm going to put up a photo here of the logging cut. One of the pictures you sent me. Now there's like a chain across a little road with a sign on it. That's what we're looking at, and 2 dirt piles on each side. So what are we looking at here, Dan?
The one you're looking at is probably, I think, does it look like there's a road behind it, or is there green right after it?
A little bit of both, actually.
Okay. Depending on which one it is, it's either the one that they had to cut a new trail in for the logging project, or it's the small one that I've got that goes to which is one of my best fields that I've created.
Okay.
As you can see, the green up, the regrowth is just, and that's not even. That's where you can see along the roads in some spots it's getting really thick where the deer, we've seen them on the side of the road, they just take one jump into that and they're gone. The popples have come up Okay, so that one that you're seeing there, that is the one that that's the new road that they had to put in for the logging to get into the back of my cousin's property.
Okay.
And you can see on each side there, and the green behind there, that's all poplars, maples, everything's just starting to regeneration up, and that it's getting thick. It's you can walk the main trail, and then when you start going off into there, it's starting to get thick with the poplars and the maples.
Okay, so that's all pretty much softwood. Well, the maple is hardwood, but it's just soft things. It's on the preferred list of things that deer like to browse on.
You are not kidding.
So looking at that, as you're walking down, let's say you're walking down that little road, that behind that sign, there's a little road there, and you're heading back. How deep or how tall is that regrowth?
Right now, it is anywhere between 4 and probably 6 feet tall.
Okay.
In some spots.
So deer steps into it, it's gone. You can't see it.
Oh, absolutely. I saw we had a doe and 2 fawns on the road yesterday. We were coming out, and they took one jump into the woods, and they were gone.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's so thick, you can barely see in there. And then for them, it's awesome. They're on the road 1 minute, and then they're into the green, thick stuff the next, and then which leads right into what's not cut.
Okay, I got you. Are they starting to make trails through there? Can you actually see trails that they're working down already?
There's a couple of spots I saw off the one food plot that I have that, yes, you can start to see the trail that they're creating coming into the food plot and going out of the food plot. And I actually followed the trail through the food plot of tracks to the end, and you can see it going off into the woods.
Okay. All right, now, the next picture I got up now, which is a tree line. And it looks like a field. There's a little bit of dirt in front of it. It looks pretty flat. It looks completely different than the ones I've been showing. So what are we looking at there? Best you can remember, the ones you sent me.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember as we go. So basically what you have there is in certain spots of the property, he did some clear cutting. And what you see there is the tree line, which is actually at the back of the property.
Okay.
So you're looking at across 40 acres to that tree line, which is within the neighbor's property.
Okay.
So right here, you're looking at timber that either is my neighbor's or it's timber that my forester selected to leave.
Okay.
Different spots. It's all been marked, like we talked about earlier. So that thick spot, it gives them, in a split second, those deer can be in that. So it's really good, and I think it's really working out well. I'm kind of excited because these deer that we're seeing, they take a couple leaps. They're either into the thick popples or they're into the woods.
Okay. Well, let's take a step back. Let's go back 2 years ago. Let's say it's the same time of year, June, July, and you're up north. What is the deer activity better? Are you seeing more deer? Are you seeing healthier deer? Are you seeing fewer deer because they got more to hide in because it's thicker? Are you seeing more tracks, more browse where they're eating? So what's changed since the logging?
So what I've noticed from the logging, when you used to drive the road, or kind of if you picture our property is cut like a T, and you would drive the roads, the woods basically came right up to the road. So you would see a deer, and then depending on where you were looking into the woods, you could actually see into the hardwoods, and you could watch that deer for a long time. And you could see it run up the ridge. You could see it disappear. Now, on the swamp side, you still could see the deer in the swamp. So that was about 2 years ago, and you'd see a few deer. So last year we had a cut. It opened it up, but now the deer are coming in, and they are feeding all through this stuff. But now, last year, because of the cut was so short, you could see them basically all the way across and then getting to the woods. This year, with it being about 4 to 6 feet tall, you see them, but they can hide a lot better. I mean, you're not seeing a whole body. You
Right.
might be seeing a butt, or you might be seeing a head. And then if they get nervous, they take a couple of jumps, and they're either into the woods or they're into the thicker stuff. And it's kind of nice to see. And the deer are looking right now. I wasn't up here in the spring, but right now they're all looking healthy. We've seen driving around. There was one on the property. We've seen 3 fawns, so that's a good thing.
Okay.
Considering Friday night, 11 o'clock at night, we had a bear come in and walk through the camp. Basically walked up to the porch, and that was kind of cool. He came in inquisitive, wanted to know what was going on, came up to the porch. He walked around our four-wheelers, walked up to the cars, looked around, and so there's bear around, but we're seeing fawns. So that's a good sign that the predators did not get the fawns that we're seeing. Of course, I don't know. I haven't heard any howling from the coyotes or the wolves.
Oh, you haven't? You haven't heard any yet?
No. And yeah, you're barely, and so it's a good sign to see. It's getting, it's 7:40 where you're at. I'm an hour behind at 6:40. If we take a drive out right at dusk here, we'll probably see anywhere from probably 5 to 10 deer on the property, which typically we'd never see. But with the new cut and from last year and the new growth they got, like you mentioned, the food is very plentiful, and they are just loving it. So I'm kind of excited. I was worried coming out of the spring with that late blast of winter we had, but the deer I'm seeing look really healthy.
So, even though you could see further before across the property, see deeper into the woods, since the logging cut and since you put in a few food plots, you're seeing more deer activity, even though it's thicker and it's harder to see them.
Right, and we're definitely seeing a lot more tracks. We're able to pick them up in the dirt better because we do have those, like you saw, the little new roads we have. You're able to look and see what we got, whether it be bear tracks, deer tracks, wolf tracks, coyote tracks.
Any bobcats?
Yes.
Any bobcats at all?
I have not seen any tracks, so I'm sure they're here. I don't know how plentiful they are up here.
Okay. Or mountain lion. Oh, wait. Michigan doesn't have those.
Right.
All right. So, I tell you what, we got a few pictures here talking about your deer. I was really impressed. I'm going to throw the first one up. You see a deer in some heavy growth with looks like a couple dead pine trees, older pines in the background. But it's thick, man. Is that part of what you cut?
Yes. That is right at the end of our camp road when we come out to the main road. That was I do believe that's the one of the spike that you see right now.
He's turned looking back at the camera.
Yep. He's about 20 feet off the road.
Okay.
And there's actually another one to the left, which we didn't even see till we moved a little bit. It's looking at us. So it was a doe and a spike. And actually, Deb and I saw those two at the end of the camp road in the thick stuff. And actually, those two deer, after we went by, actually came into camp. They walked down the road. They went to the camp. Kelly and Gabby actually got pictures of the same deer.
Okay.
That right there is so thick right now. To walk through that is going to be enjoyable.
Now, are you planning on going through maybe this year, next year, who knows when, but are you thinking about going through and cutting footpaths through there just to be able to get from one side of it to the other easily?
We're discussing that right now, how we want to do that. We talked about it. Actually, I talked with the girls about it today as we were zipping around on the four-wheeler. Thinking of changing up the paths that we did have with the logging project, they made new paths. I think we're going to let old paths go, and we might need to create some new ones to get into different areas. How the forester created some things, leaving some foot. Actually, it's the 2 tracks from the skidders. Actually make really good new paths. So we're going to go in. We might get a bobcat or something to go in and kind of clear out some of the stuff that we need to.
Would it be beneficial if you were to do it on the perimeter of your property with thinking about prevailing winds? So as you're not to go right through the middle of this and push deer out?
Absolutely. So the new trail actually would be better on the one property because the westerly prevailing winds that we do have. The new trail comes in from the west. So to come in through that trail might actually be more beneficial than the trail that we did have on that 40, which was on the western edge of that property. So when you walked in, it was blowing your scent right into the main of the property. So in some spots it might be better. In some spots we might have to change things up.
You might have to rethink about how you're getting into it.
Absolutely. We're trying to think of how we're going to approach a stand right now that we have. Basically, the trail we did have came right down the middle. It's on the kind of the eastern side of the property line. We don't know how we're going to do that one because we're also trying to watch how the deer are changing their patterns of going through the thick woods, through the fields, back to the thick woods.
Mm-hmm.
So we're trying to watch that. We know they run the line, and now on the back of the property we have that wood line, so they're running that as well. So we're trying to figure out how to get to the edge of that without spooking them.
I gotcha. Okay, makes sense. Well, I'll tell you what, we're bumping up here on our last break. Let's take a quick break. We're going to step outside. We come back, we'll kind of wrap things up. And actually, I just found a photo of the fishing that you guys were doing there. So
all right, cool.
I'll see if I can download those real quick, and we'll get them up for everybody to take a look at here on the live stream. So we're going to step outside, and we'll be right back after this. Okay, guys, you got questions? Throw them our way.
So, yeah, Terry, you can definitely weed whack.
That's what's good about having people at camp and sharing camp with people. You can delegate the workload.
There you go. You know, that was nice having Gabby and Kelly mowing the lawn as I was trying to get the water set because they had that pretty well all knocked out by the time I was able to fix the pipe and wait the appropriate hour to let it to cure and fire it up. So everything went well.
That's cool. All right. Before we get this next one going, I'm going to see if I can get just 2 pictures downloaded real quick here, if I can. Let's see.
Oh, did the rain stop?
Sounds like it did.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, but the humidity's still here. But we got a breeze. I tell you what, that's one thing that's nice, having a breeze.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah. You're in the bush and there's no breeze. It's hot.
If anybody's got any questions, throw them out here.
You know, it's always nice to see how many people stop for a railroad crossing, or don't stop for that matter.
Well, you're in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, but you don't know when a train's coming.
Well, I got to imagine you pull up to it and you kind of got an idea if one's coming or not.
Well, that guy didn't even stop, so he just flew right by.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Fair enough. All right, let me download one more photo here real quick, and we'll get going right along. I think these are pretty cool pictures here. I just want to get them on the show tonight.
He's got the.
How big do you think that bear was that you guys saw?
That bear, definitely not as big as the bear we saw 4 years ago up here. And that bear, I probably go 250, 300. So I was thinking that bear I'm going to say 175, 200.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
It looked skinny, but I wasn't about to go ask him.
Okay.
You know,
You didn't want to invite him to jump on the scale?
you know, it was funny because I was thinking about what was in my vehicles. Like, we stopped and we had breakfast at McDonald's, so there was probably a McDonald's bag in there. And I'm thinking to myself,
He's smelling breakfast.
I'm thinking he's going to rip apart my truck to get in a paper bag that's empty.
Nice.
Yeah, so, but it was nice to see that bear. I tell you what, I've run into, that's now the third or fourth bear I've ran into on the property, and each time it's oof.
It's fun to see him, but you want to keep your distance, obviously.
And being inside and keeping them outside, and actually that was good. I was good with that.
All right, here we go. Stand by in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back. Last segment of the show, everybody. We got a live connection with Dan DeFauw in the UP, all the way up Crystal Falls. That's where you're near? Iron County.
I am north of Crystal Falls.
Okay, so he's in Iron County, UP, and loving life up there. Everything's good. Playing with bears, playing with the deer, checking everything out. But during the break here, I had an opportunity to take and just download a couple photos real quick, and I want to throw up here. The first one up here is the native brook trout that your wife has come to know here the last couple of years. I got the picture up now, and your dogs are taking a sniff of them.
That's our nemesis. That's our resident brook trout that lives underneath the bridge that we have, and it's always fun to go. About 3 years ago, actually probably been more, we started trying to go after them, and a couple years got her. She wasn't able to catch them, or her. But now the last 2 years, she's been able to catch and release them. So it's been kind of fun being able to walk down to the stream and go after them.
That's cool. Well, what I want to know is what you sent me a couple other pictures here. I'll throw it up here. Now, you're on a lake. Obviously, you're in a kayak because I see one out in front of you, and I see the tip of your. I assume it's your kayak. I assume you took this photo.
Yeah.
Is this the reservoir?
That is the Michigami Reservoir.
Okay. Well, what were you fishing for?
Actually, I was fishing for anything. But what's mainly in there is bass, pike, walleye. So I started out with the a wacky rig, just chucking it into the weeds, and that's where we saw the juvenile bald eagle today. And
nice.
He was flying around. Wasn't able to get a picture of him. It was nice was it was overcast today. The wind was a little tricky. It would die down and make it really nice where you can get into a spot, make a couple casts. Then it would pick up, and then you would you would just start going with the wind. So you kind of went faster than what you wanted to.
Right.
But yeah, that's a big body of water up here. That, and matter of fact, I saw 2 other boats while we were out there. That was it. One other boat that was up on shore. Probably some locals or somebody that has a cabin has it hooked up there for the week. And but that was it. And we're all by ourselves in our kayaks, just fishing away. And I was able to hook into one. I couldn't. I don't know why I wasn't able to bring it in. I thought I set the hook, but it spit it out. And so, but we were only out there for 2.5 hours today. But yeah, it was nice out there today, and can't wait to get out there maybe tomorrow and the next couple of days.
Did it get close enough to the boat to where you could tell what kind of fish it was?
No. It was. It hit it really hard, and it was like, okay, this is good. And then he spit it out, and it was back to not catching anything.
Back to not catching nothing.
You know, if I really wanted to go after panfish, I probably could, because I know they're in there as well. Right now, they're in the cuts, and they're in the weeds really thick. But I was mainly probably going after bass. We caught a few walleye last year, but it's just fun to be able to get out there and not be run over by other people in boats.
Kind of like down here in this part of the state?
Yeah. especially for being a Sunday. It was Sunday at noon when we got out there, right?
Right.
So, and I saw 2 other boats.
Okay.
Try doing that down by us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So you got some more fishing planned?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, what else have you got on your agenda? I mean, obviously, the 4th of July is coming up this week. It's, Independence Day coming, and everybody gets out. Here last night, people shooting fireworks left and right, boomity boom, 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 across the whole county just about.
Right.
Do you see that up there where you're at?
On the local lake to the east of us, it's a private little lake. They get together and have their own little fireworks show. The local town has a fireworks show if you want to go to it and parade. I think 3 towns take turns depending on which town it's going to be in for the year, but you really don't.
Okay.
I mean, not down by us. Not like as soon as it gets dusk, it becomes World War III with fireworks.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much up here.
Yeah, I got you. What about Northern Lights? Seen any of the Northern Lights since you've been up?
Funny you mentioned that because Deb was going to go out looking for the Northern Lights on Friday night, but about 5 minutes before, because she mentioned, she goes, I'm going to go look for the Northern Lights. I said, okay. That's when Kelly walked out of the bathroom and as cool as a cucumber said, oh, by the way, don't let the dogs out because I just seen a bear butt go by the window.
Just nonchalant.
I mean,
there's a bear outside. You guys might want to stay inside.
It was so needless to say, Deb did not go looking for Northern Lights on Friday night.
Okay. All right.
Last night it was thundering and lightning, so we really didn't have a chance. Hoping that this stuff passes through. I don't know, but probably later in the week, I'm hoping that it gets clear enough that we can go out there and look at them. Because I know I've seen them up here in October, November, and it's pretty spectacular.
Yeah, it's always cool when you see something like that. Something you don't get to see a lot of down this way. So.
Right, and I plan. Another thing I plan to do out this week, I'm starting to set cameras out. I've got 2 out right now, just kind of for the week, taking a look at them. I'll reset them here at the end of the week before I leave to come home, and then kind of do a deer survey or an animal survey to see what I got on the property. Right on.
Yeah, you got to be able to, start pinpointing bucks, figuring out which, what's in your inventory. I know our trail camera survey is going to take place sometime in the first week or 2 of September, I think. So that's right. That's our plan.
And I hope to get these out so it'd be February. I wish. It'd be cooler. But for July and August, and if I get back up here in September, I'll have a good 2 months of hopefully some good photos to see what's on the property.
How many cameras you putting out? You plan on putting out this year?
I think I'm going to put 4 out this year.
Okay. 4 on, and you've got, would you say 80 there that you're hunting?
Yeah, well, we got. I'm gonna put it. Got it on 120 acres that I'll have the 4 cameras on.
Okay. Yeah, something I gotta do is get up and check mine. I want to get up this weekend, but 95 plus here with 105 heat index. I'm not traveling north in the traffic to go check cameras. It's just I wanted to take and get stands down. I've got the ratchet straps loose, but I've got to get them off the trees, and just kind of get them to a central area. Start taking a little look around, seeing where the main corridors are, see if anything's changed, and start thinking about where I want to set up. So that's kind of my game plan here, hopefully in the next 2 weeks.
I'm going to have 1 camera over a food plot, the real grassy one that you saw. I got a camera there up right now. I've got a camera behind the cabin at an intersection point. And then the other 2 cameras, I'm still debating where I'm going to put them. I got an idea where I want to put them. So I'll have them spread out over the acreage, and hopefully we'll start to see some fun stuff.
Right. Yeah, definitely. That's the best part about it. You go start checking trail cameras. Seeing the fawns start to lose their spots, seeing how many you've got on the ground, seeing the antler growth, and muscle mass growth on these bucks as well. So, it's a great time of year to get out and do some stuff. But, man, one thing I wanted to ask you, because we've been talking about it a lot here in the news, especially this last week, is ticks. How are the ticks up there?
Knock on wood. Not one yet.
Nothing. Well, that's good.
That's exciting.
Like that.
I tell you what, they we've even the dogs have been kind of, when we're watching the dogs, we do a tick check every night. They've been clean, we've been clean, but I tell you what, you just get that inkling that something, you get that itch sometimes. It's like, oh, geez. But so far, so good.
Right. Yeah, we did a story on them the other day at the TV station about that new virus that they're passing that makes people allergic to red meat. And
no.
As we're talking about the story, all of a sudden I'm itching, I'm like, the producer's like, what's wrong with you? I said, you talk about that stinking tick story, now I got the itches, I'm starting to scratch.
All that's got to happen is somebody mention it, and then you're starting to itch.
Yeah, so good luck on your ride back to the cabin there. You ought to be itching real good.
I know, right?
Man.
Actually, to tell you the truth, it was so hot on Saturday morning. Normally, I wear... I was wearing shorts and boots. I was like, okay, if I do that, then I can actually see them crawling up my legs. So, with my white skin, so, but nothing. So, I'm glad. So far, so good.
Have you taken your bow up? Did you take your bows with you? Do any shooting this week?
Nope. Didn't have room.
Say that again. You didn't have room.
Didn't have room.
What did you take up? Everything but the kitchen sink?
You don't know how Kelly packs, do you?
No.
Okay. No, I left him at home, and I just been up, got some fishing stuff.
Okay.
I needed to do some fishing.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I was thinking about that today. I like, do I go out and shoot the bow? Do I get a fishing rod? Because I'm here. You talk about being in the cabin alone. I'm sitting here. You're not here. But there's nobody in the house. I've got the house all to myself, and it's been that way since 2 o'clock this afternoon. For the last it's almost 8 o'clock right now. So the last 6 hours, I've just been chilling here. And I thought, what do I do? But I've been back here in the office doing a little bit of work, so trying to keep things rolling.
Absolutely. So hopefully get some more fishing, get some more lines wet, maybe catch some fish, and see what happens.
Right on. So. Well, you got some fishing planned, time with the family. I can already tell, as soon as you got on the phone, the not anxiety, but the stress level, I could tell it was way down. For you, you sound relaxed, dude. You sound like you're in paradise.
Yeah, pretty much anytime you cross that bridge, you go into a new twilight zone up here, and it's really nice. It's peaceful, it's quiet. Matter of fact, we were just talking about this at dinner time and sitting around the fire that we haven't heard kids screaming in the store. We haven't heard actually, to tell you the truth, traffic has been way down. So my thought is that they'll be up next weekend, because next week is the local bass festival up here. So We're thinking everybody's coming up next weekend. So
okay. Well, I tell you what, man, it was good talking with you. I know you want to get back to the family. I know you got you got a passenger or two there behind you. I keep seeing an arm pick out of the side of your. Hey, Kelly. Hey, Gabby. So I kept seeing some arms coming out of the side of your head there. I figured you didn't grow tentacles, so I figured you had
No. We gotta run. We gotta run to town, and we gotta get some gas. So we gotta get some gas for the 4-wheelers and get those filled up, because we got some riding to do.
Gotcha. All right. Hey, have a safe time up there. Have fun, and we'll talk when you get back, and take lots of pictures so we got something to talk about next week.
Absolutely. We're taking pictures. We got more pictures already. We got more to bring home.
All right, man. Sounds good. I'll let you go. I'll let you sign off, and I'll wrap up the show here on my end.
All righty.
All right. Take care, man.
Talk to you.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.
All right, so Danny is up north, enjoying himself for the weekend, and we got a chance to talk to him a little bit here, figure out what was going on with him up north. So gives a little glimpse into his world and what he does up there, some pictures, and being able to make that Skype connection. So, it's pretty cool that technology has brought us a long way to be able to do that. But you guys be safe out there this week, 4th of July. We say it every stinking year. Don't blow your fingers off, especially your trigger finger. You got to take care of that. So you guys be safe out there. Have a good 4th of July. I'm going to wrap up the show here on my end. And as always, feel free to share the show over on Facebook, Twitter. We're there as well. YouTube. Our show, actually, the live stream portion will probably come out on Thursday or Friday of this week, just due to the 4th of July being on a Wednesday. So you guys get out there, hit it hard, but be safe. And we're going to sign out. Y'all take care.